This is all I've known my whole career. This work is very important to me. I've always loved making things with my hands. And so pretty much right out of high school, I went to school to do this at Tech. And then after school, I landed a couple of jobs in the Kansas City area, working for some collision shops. They did some restoration stuff on the side. Started working for a place doing TIG welding all day, just TIG welding, billet aluminum stuff. And then I met Rad Rides by Troy, interviewed with them. I was just a young kid, I was 21 at the time, didn't have any experience. Worked there for about 8.5 years. And basically that's where I progressed a lot. That's probably where I grew the most as a fabricator. He had the clientele that wanted the next coolest thing, the best of the best. And so you had the opportunity to kind of come up with cool ideas. And he had a pole max there. I kind of forced myself to use it, and once he saw that, you know, hey, this is something we can use, we started using it a lot more. And then eventually he got a power hammer. We worked on some really awesome stuff there, and even to this day, they're doing some of the best custom work that's out there. All right, so this is Hammerfab. This is the main fabrication shop. Really cool builds going on here. A lot of trucks right now. That's not really on purpose. That's just what we got dealt right now, which is fine with me. I love the trucks. Cool C10 that we're doing a lot of crazy metal work on. It is being built to a very high level. Really crazy hand-built chassis on it. We wedge chopped the top 1/2 inch. We made a custom 14 gauge firewall on the Pullmax. The inner fenders and the core support cover is all aluminum that we use the Baileigh bead roller on. It is going to have a nice low stance with 22s and 24s. So the front we had 3D scanned and then created a model in SolidWorks to create a one-off billet grill, and then Alumacraft machined that for us along with the headlight bezels. So we made the upper half of the bedsides from scratch. We used a large CNC press brake to bump bend that. The lower halves are made by hand here in the shop. And then the flares are actually front fender flares that are grafted on there. It's all TIG welded together and metal finished so that you can't even see the seams. We do design some stuff in SolidWorks here. For example, these bed slats have kind of a wave curve to them. A CNC machine doesn't know how to bend that wave. What we did was we designed it and then flattened it out in the computer, had these parts laser cut and then CNC press broke. And then we had a custom buck made that we shaped all these by hand to fit the buck and then made them all attached together. Got a 59 Apache over here. We're doing a wide body kit on, all out of metal, using some Baileigh equipment included in all that. So we widen the rear fenders 3 inches. We make the step plates from scratch to accommodate the wider fenders. We even flared the front fenders 1.5 inches, basically so we could nail the look of this truck, the stance. We got these ultra concave forged stars on it, and I really wanted to fit those wheels on there, so we did whatever it took, including flaring the fenders to make that happen. One of the things I like to do on these trucks is basically make it so that it's fail-proof for the customer. They can, you know, open the tailgate, it's going to open with no chains on it. That's one of our products that we're coming out with, is tailgate stops for different model trucks, so you can eliminate your chains and your things that clang around and wreck the paint. So basically we tune this tailgate so that it can't shift side to side. We beef up the opening so the sides can't flex, so that when you slam your tailgate, it always latches like it should. Also on the back here, we customized what started as a 53 Cadillac bumper ends from the front of a car. We flipped them upside down, put them on the back, and then made the center section on a CNC press brake. It looks like it belongs, you know, that's what we're kind of after here, is make it look like it belongs. We don't want to do anything gaudy or out of place. You know, we want all of our builds to kind of look clean and timeless. The outside of the truck's going to look timeless, but if you peek in here, we've got C6, Z06 transaxle. in the back. It's got front and rear C6 Corvette cradles for the suspension. So it's all OEM Corvette stuff. It'll be very easily maintainable, and it's gonna ride and perform really nice. Then I moved to Texas to work for another shop. I'd already had one experience winning one Riddler Award under my belt while working at Troy's on a 36 Ford. I was basically hired to help them win the Riddler Award again. And this time it was a 39 Oldsmobile. I got the opportunity to pretty much hand build a car from scratch. I mean, this is as close as I've gotten so far to hand building a car. This one had been cut up already, so we might as well just cut it up and start over and make it a winner. So that's what we did. And it required making every single panel from scratch.
I'm Levi Green with Customs and Hot Rods of Andis, and we just won the 2016 Riddler Award. All right!
In 2014, I decided it's time to do my own thing. I didn't plan on starting my own shop. It just kind of was out of necessity. It's kind of like the next progression, the next thing. Basically collected equipment in my garage for about a year and packed that garage full of equipment. And that's when I got my first Baileigh equipment, actually. That's when I reached out to Shane, was very interested in the sheet metal mag brake. I set up my garage so that it looked like a studio or a shop or whatever, and did a video using the mag brake. And he reposted that, got a lot of views, gained some traction for Hammerfab. Later on, we ended up getting a few other items. So we got some really cool tools in the shop here. I personally like some of the older American-made equipment that's been around since World War II. This is a Dual band file that I picked up a long time. It's one of my favorite machines. Not necessarily the most used machine around here, but it's really handy for making tooling like Polmax dies, stuff like that. We've got the old Apex grinder here. Actually, I picked this up from Baileigh, this little guard. They had that. They've got one similar to that. We've got some World War II era kick shrinkers here. This one was actually in the United States Air Force. You can shrink some really thick stuff with these. And then we've got the Baileigh three-wheel grinder here, which is really handy. It's very versatile. You can spin it around. You can flip it up 90 degrees. Very nice tool to have. Everybody's got to have one of these in the shop, the Baileigh kick shrinker. This thing is, I mean, bang for your buck. You can't go wrong. This is a great tool. It'll actually do more than what you think. It'll handle quite a bit. So we love that little guy. Yeah, so we got the old Polmax here. This is the P21. I believe it was one of the newer models. I've restored it and painted it the original colors. These things will do whatever you want, man. I think Baileigh has got a version basically of a Polmax power hammer type machine. But we make a lot of the dies for it. If we need to make a custom body line, this will shear metal if you want. It's got like scissor type shears that you can put in it. You can punch louvers with this. Sky's the limit. And then next up, we got the Mjolnir. That which smashes is what it means, I guess. Basically, it's a copy of a World War II Yoder, is what they would make bombers and airplanes with in World War II. Very smooth. It feels like the old cone clutch machines. So you kind of, metal shaper guys, they kind of want that feel. We use it a lot for making big, large panels, door skins, roof skins. You know, if it wasn't for Baileigh Industrial being on Instagram, for example, I think they've really helped kind of propel the metal shaping industry and the art and the craft, and especially with some of their power hammers and stuff like that. You know, I think they basically have made it easy for some of these new shops, younger people getting into this. They've made some of the stuff at a price point that's easy to get into. A power hammer that's not the giant one that I have over here, you know. They've got 3 or 4 different levels of power hammers, so guys can easily get in there, start shaping some metal, then just move on to the next tool. I guess in the past, before social media, it was kind of this ooby-dooby thing, like, you know, it's magic, or how do you do that? Because all you would see there for a while on Instagram was just finished results. But I think with Baileigh kind of exposing what power hammers are, how they're used, showing some more of that content, and getting some of those metal shapers, by the way, that were already doing some of this metal shaping, getting them ingrained with these new Baileigh equipment, you know, going around to their classes, or having those guys come to the Baileigh classes or whatever, you know, getting that content to show these talented craftsmen using their machines, I think really kind of just helped everybody be more knowledgeable and more aware of what metal shaping is and how hard it is, and you know, how to get involved. We got the Baileigh BR1636 LT. This is our go-to machine for doing bead rolling, and we use it a lot for tipping flanges. The reason I got it was it's got a lot of adjustability. So it's got the quick release handle here, which is super handy for making repeat depths, for getting your pressure the same every time. You can still adjust it up here, and then you can do the offset here in and out, so that you can, that basically opens up all kinds of options for creating body lines and reveals, joggles. This set of dies here is actually some that we design here at Hammerfab and offer for this machine. There's our tipping dies. We've got the lower flat anvil, the upper tipping die, or you can get 2 tipping dies and create a joggle with it. The Baileigh mag brake. This thing is a must-have if you guys are starting a shop, or even if you just want to amp up your bending game. This is the only bender we have right now in-house, honestly. This thing is so versatile and handy. I mean, we've got in a jam sometimes where we had to bend some tricky stuff, and this guy will do it where other ones won't do it. And then we got the Baileigh 75-ton shop press. This thing is awesome, man. We actually do stamp some of our products on this, but we also use it for custom press forms, speaker grills, bending some thicker stuff with a little V, kind of like a press brake. So it's really handy for bending brackets and stuff like that too, but it'll do anything. It says it'll go to like 130 tons. I've never had it past like 12. 12 is scary. Like I feel like it's gonna blow apart at 12. All right, and then over here, we've got another bay where we do some mechanical stuff, final assembly type stuff. We do have an upholstery bench over here. We don't use it a lot right now, but I have a little bit of upholstery experience. Actually, we're gonna start bringing some of that back in-house, doing more of our final assembly upholstery. We're even thinking about starting a paint shop, so stay tuned for that. It's kind of dark in here. So this is my 1950 shoebox Ford. We've been doing all the metalwork on this car in the classes that I teach here at Hammerfab. We chopped the top. Then we did a compound curve class showing how to make the sail panels from scratch. Firewall class showing how to do that on the pull max. Then we did like 6 floor pan classes. Then we did wheel tub classes. Then we did a trans tunnel class. All the metal in this car is brand new, and it's pretty much all been done in my classes. So I got a great crew of guys right now. I lose count. I think there's 5 of us total right now. I'm getting ready to hire another guy. The work that we do around here is impossible with, first of all, the customers. You got to have the customers that want this awesome work, and the employees that are, you know, they're moving here from out of state, putting their families at risk and all this stuff, you know, to come work for a cool shop like this, and I'm very grateful for all that. So we got a couple trucks here. The blue one is my 1958 Chevy Apache truck. We finished it in 2019, took it to the SEMA show, and we're honored with the Chevrolet Performance Design Award for Truck of the Year, which was pretty cool. And then the patina one is also mine. It's a 66 GMC truck with a Don Hardy LS3 full chop and block extreme air ride chassis. With the GMC, it's not really built for road coursing, like specifically, but I took it out on the track and tested it. It's got beefy front and rear sway bars, and it does pretty well on the autocross with the good guys and stuff. That's where I took it. It's a lot of fun, but man, if you want to test the limits of your suspension and your truck and what it can do, go out there and run some cones, and you'll find out how good of a build you got. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, ultimately I would like to say that I did all that I could for God's glory. Put in a good day's, solid day's work and provide for my family. You know, do all this cool, fun stuff and be able to provide for my family and the guys that work for me, for their families. I'm blessed to be able to do this stuff every day and have a career doing this. I've been doing this for the last 20 years. And it kind of blows my mind when you think about it. I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing stuff that they hate. They hate their job, and they just have to go in and do the 9 to 5. And I love coming to work every day.